Have you ever noticed at some point in your life that some people just don't seem to deserve what they have? It's the kind of guy who is born into a good family, that family gives him a good education, the best schools, nice birthday presents, but this person spends his whole life taking for granted the good fortune he had. He doesn't value his parents or siblings, treats his wife or girlfriend like trash, but even so, he keeps being very loved and protected by them. On the other hand, there's that person who is born with all the odds against him, but still manages to overcome them. We have good examples in Brazil like Dr. Eneas, a guy who was born with very little but who overcame it, and even today, after his passing, is still greatly admired and talked about by many. In this video you're about to watch, we'll see a man who was born in a country where people have every opportunity, and another, poor, black, and with little education. He literally had the world against him, but this guy made it. And the other, born in the land of Uncle Sam, who won a prize of no less than $167 million, which would be, in our currency, 856 million Rs. Since there's no time to waste, and I know you're more than curious, grab a snack right now and let's start our segment. People of the world, this guy you see is James Fettingen from Kentucky in the United States. He became international news. In other words, talked about all over the world because he won 856 million in the lottery and was arrested for the fourth time since he won the record jackpot. It seems that money in the hands of some people is simply useless. This guy received $167 million, as I already mentioned, which would be almost 1 billion reais, from the Powerball lottery in the United States in April of last year. He was arrested on charges of strangling a woman on the morning of Sunday, September 26, 2026 during an argument. That was none other than the fourth arrest of James Fettingen since he won the historic prize. A resident of a rural area in Kentucky, James was charged with strangulation and assault, both classified as domestic violence, after winning last year the largest Powerball prize ever recorded in the state. According to the report on the case, the millionaire had arrived at his home in Georgentol after a boat trip and got into an argument with his wife, ending the episode with his hands around her neck. In March, James had been arrested on charges of stealing $12,000, that is, 61,000 reais in cash during a home robbery. That's right. This guy is a millionaire. But because of the adrenaline, the heat of the moment, he chose to steal $12,000 even though he had an account with almost 1 billion reais. Security footage caught this individual entering a house in Lexington, Kentucky, in the United States that night, according to the broadcaster Lex 18. The American has a criminal record and is said to have fled the scene in his black Dodge Charger, one of his many purchases after becoming a multimillionaire. The guy's car was worth much more than what he tried to steal. He ended up being captured by police who found marijuana cigarettes in plain sight and more marijuana stored during a search of the vehicle, according to the police report. Just a few days after celebrating the huge prize, James was arrested in Florida, where he was celebrating the windfall with his girlfriend for punching a hotel guest in the face and kicking a police officer who tried to intervene. He pleaded guilty earlier this month, according to Lex 18. This is the story of a real scoundrel, a person, my brothers, who proves that money isn't everything, and that money in the hands of a fool, instead of bringing joy and a peaceful life, does the opposite. He thinks he can do anything because he has money to pay for a lawyer. On the other hand, we have a true example of resilience and determination. This young man, who also made it to the Brazilian media, is named Frank Bynes. He started in the hospital's cleaning department while still in high school. He learned English while working, became the first in his family to go to college, and returned to the institution where he discovered the profession that would change his life. When Frank Bynes first entered NYU Langone Tisch Hospital in New York, his job was to keep rooms, hallways, and bathrooms clean for the patients. He had come to the United States from the Dominican Republic, spoke little English, and needed to help his family. 12 years later, Bynes was back walking through the same institution, this time wearing a nursing uniform. At 29, he completed the course at NWU with an academic average of 3.6 after going through an accelerated program of just 15 months. The change didn't happen all at once. Between hospital cleaning and graduation, he finished high school, learned a new language, transported patients, worked in a special care unit, and completed 2 other college degrees. The story, initially reported in May 2019, didn't end at the graduation ceremony. Years later, Bynes became the first senior clinical nurse in the same health system where he had started as a cleaning staff member. Frank Bynes was 15 years old when he left the Dominican Republic with 2 brothers to reunite with his mother and grandfather in Brooklyn. Adapting to the city required him to learn English while attending school and looking for a way to contribute to the household expenses. In 2016, at the age of 17, he got a part-time job in the cleaning department at NWU. For almost 3 years, he spent his weekends cleaning patient rooms, bathrooms, and hallways while finishing high school at Chipsheed Bay High School. According to the report published by ABC News on May 22, 2019, Bynes could barely speak English when he started working at the hospital. He had taken the job mainly because he needed to help support his family financially. But the daily contact with patients and healthcare professionals ended up changing his plans. While he was cleaning the rooms, he started to observe how nurses talked to patients, explained procedures, and advocated for the needs of the hospitalized people. The routine, which at first was just a source of income, became Bynes' first experience in the medical field. The interesting clinical work led Bynes to apply for a position as a patient transporter. In this role, he began accompanying hospitalized people to operating rooms, imaging tests, and different parts of the hospital. The close contact with patients allowed him to take part in situations he wasn't familiar with when he worked in housekeeping. Bynes realized that he felt comfortable in a hospital environment and began to consider a career where he could provide direct care. One of these situations happened during a medical emergency. While assisting with the care of a patient who went into cardiac arrest, he observed a nurse position herself in front of the team, advocate for the patient's needs, and coordinate part of the clinical response. Bynes was called to quickly deliver important lab results. According to the publication in NW Mays magazine, the episode made him realize that he didn't just want to observe the team's work, but wanted to get training to participate in patient care. His professional path continued within the hospital. After working as a transporter, he became an administrative employee at a special unit of NW Langone Orthopedic Hospital, getting a closer look at the routines of nurses and post-surgery patients. Bynes initially pursued an associate degree at the Borough of Manhattan Community College. Then, he enrolled at Hunt College, where he completed a bachelor's degree in Spanish literature with a minor in biological sciences. Completing the course represented a change within his own family. He became the first among his close relatives to receive a college degree. He achieved this while balancing studies, work, and adapting to life in the United States. Even after graduating, Bynes kept thinking about the experiences he had alongside the nurses. His colleagues at the hospital began encouraging him to apply for a spot in the NW nursing program. Kimberly Volpe, who was then the senior director of nursing at the orthopedic hospital, offered to write a letter of recommendation. When he received the news that he had been accepted, Bynes went from floor to floor in the hospital to share the news with his colleagues who had followed his journey. As reported by the specialized outlet Daily News, his previous degree allowed him to enter an accelerated nursing program. During the course, Bynes was also admitted to Sigma Theta Tau International, an international honor society for professionals and students in the field. The accelerated NW program condensed into 15 months a course of study that is normally spread over a longer period. Bynes continued working at NW Hospital while attending classes, doing practical activities, and fulfilling the clinical requirements for graduation. Natalia Paskilinski, who worked as a nurse in the same unit where he had worked in housekeeping, witnessed part of his progress. Years later, already as the director of simulation learning at the college, she stated that Bynes had not only managed to complete the rigorous course, but had also shown academic performance above what was required. He graduated on May 20, 2017-2019 at the age of 29 with a GPA of 3.6 on a scale that goes up to 4 points. The result contradicted his own assessment of his school past, since Bynes said he had never been a student who was used to getting only top grades. The difference, according to him, was in the quality of hours devoted to studying and work. There were moments of doubt, but the feeling that he could advance professionally made him keep studying. After graduation, his goal was to work in intensive care and to specialize in caring for critically ill patients. Information published by Fox 29 at the time indicated that he had also started master's studies with the goal of becoming an advanced practice nurse in acute care. A few months after graduation, Bynes began working as a bilingual nurse in the cardiothoracic intensive care unit at NW Langone Health. The job involved monitoring patients who underwent complex heart surgeries. The hiring completed a cycle that began in 2006. The teenager who used to clean rooms and try to understand the new language became part of the hospital's clinical team, caring for patients in both English and Spanish. During that terrible illness we refer to here as Sunga Sunga Monga, his image appeared on advertising billboards in New York, including space in Times Square. He also became an ambassador for a medical uniform brand and started mentoring students who were beginning their careers. In November 2024, NW Horace May's College of Music itself reported that Bynes was already holding the position of senior clinical nurse at NW Langone Health. That year, he returned to the college to deliver uniforms and talk to new graduates from the same accelerated program he had completed 5 years earlier. Bynes' journey is a real blow to the current narratives of the global left. This story, this idea that a person is born without opportunities and that's why they turn to crime, that's why they're violent, that's why they become a burden to society, it's a flimsy excuse. We have two great examples of this here. An American born in the United States, which is the land of opportunity, a place where being poor and black in many parts of the world, you wouldn't have the slightest chance. There, if a guy works hard, if he dedicates himself, he can become someone with a bright future, even surpassing the natives themselves. And this video proves it. There is no excuse for failure, my brother. Only failures do that. That's the truth. It's been proven here that even if you were born in the land of opportunities, being a native, and on top of that, blessed with a lot of luck, if you want to throw your life away, my brother, it's easy. All you have to do is want it. There's the proof. On the other hand, the guy is born in a messed up country, worse than Brazil, full of problems, even facing an invasion of Haitians. Just to give you an idea, in 2025, the country deported more than 180,000 Haitians from its territory. And it's at this moment, my brother, that I especially ask you who are afraid to travel, what if this guy had just gotten complacent? If our little hero, Frank Bynes, had said, well, I'm going to use my skin color as an excuse for my failure, I'm going to use the geographic location where I was born as an excuse for my failure. He could have, and anyone would believe it, and would even agree that he didn't have a chance, that fate chose for him to come into this world to suffer. But no, my brother. He chose to take all the hardships, the fragility of his own family, and turn them into strength. He ventured into a foreign land that the media itself has portrayed as a hostile place for people like him. But actually, my brother, the hostility of Americans is really only towards laziness. It doesn't matter if you're blonde with blue eyes, if you go there looking for a free ride, you'll get screwed. On the other hand, you can be any color, but if you work hard, that effort will soon come back to you in the form of dollars. That's what a capitalist country, well governed like it is now, offers you. It's funny, my brothers, that even though the mainstream media, and I even laugh about this, the rotten mainstream media always makes a point of bashing the United States, it's exactly there that the champagne socialists raise their children. Just look at Shusha. She raised her daughter Zaxa there, not here. And many others do the same, like Luciano Huck and so many others. They work to ruin this country and turn it into a communist socialist country, but they don't want that for themselves. It's funny how these people think, isn't it? Anyway, that's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it and above all understood it. If so, leave a like, share it, show it to more people so we can keep making this content. You can imagine that because of what we've talked about, they're dying for this channel to just disappear. So don't let this voice be lost in the wilderness. God bless you, my brothers. Take care and may God bless you and protect you mightily. Best wishes from your friend David, always taking on the supernatural here on Ankara News.